Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We will get started in just a minute. Let us know in the chat where you are joining from. And please only use the question and answer section for questions and answers. But we will get started in just a minute.
He's going to talk again.
We have Florida, New York, Springfield, Virginia, Clinton, Maryland, Bangkok, Thailand. Amazing.
Oh, nice.
Africa, Falls Church, Delaware, Chicago, Iceland, New Jersey, DC, Noma, Sydney, Australia. Great. Okay, and we'll just give it another 30 seconds or so, and we'll start momentarily. For those who just joined, we are sharing where you are watching this from, so feel free to put your city or country in the chat. It's great to see so many international folks.
Pakistan, that's great. Iceland.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Sahand Mirmini. I am the Director of Operations for WorldPride DC and the Capital Pride Alliance. And we appreciate you coming this evening to learn a little bit about some of the health and safety plans we have for this celebration. As many of you know, we're celebrating 50 years of Pride in the nation's capital. And WorldPride DC has been a process that we've been working through for the past few years, and we're just really excited that we're finally here, and we are starting the celebration next week. So thank you so much for joining. We are joined this evening by a number of my colleagues and some of our partners. So I will name those folks right now, and then we'll introduce you to those people as we go through the presentation. So we have Teresa Belpulzi. She is the Senior Vice President of Tourism, Sports, and Visitor Experience at Destination DC. We have Ryan Boss, our Executive Director for WorldPride DC and the Capital Pride Alliance. We have Japer Bowles, the Director of the Mayor's Office of LGBTQ+ Affairs. Linda Lindemood, who is our Director of Health, Safety, and Security for the WorldPride DC and the Capital Pride Alliance. Trevor Knight, who is the Partner Engagement Program Manager for DC Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency. Dr. Anthony Fox, the Division Chief of the DC Department of Health. And Drew Morano, the Associate Clinical Professor of Emergency Medicine at George Washington Medical Faculty Associates. So we have plenty of experts and folks who have been working on this event to share some of their knowledge and to give you some guidance on our plans coming up in the next few weeks. There have been literally tens of thousands of hours on this event. So you are all in good hands tonight, and we're excited to share some information. Chris, if you could go to the next slide. And if we are having issues, that is totally fine as well.
He's changed the slide.
Oh, okay, great. Perhaps it's not showing it for me. So we have a number of events that are coming up starting on May 17th. So because I can't see these, I won't list all of them out, but the celebration starts with Trans Pride on May 17th, as well as API Pride. We have Black Pride, as well as a number of marquee and partner events. Some of these you may recognize as our signature events that we have every year, and some of these events are newer events that we have for WorldPride, including the Human Rights Conference, which will be at the JW Marriott the World Pride Honors, which will be held at the National Building Museum, as well as the March and Rally, which will be held at the Lincoln Memorial in the National Mall. So there's plenty of events on this screen, and there's about over 100 more that are on our website through many of our partners throughout the city. So please visit worldpridedc.org to learn more about those events. But to start off this evening, we will head to Teresa Belposi with Destination DC.
Great. Thank you, Sahand and Ryan and the Capital Pride Alliance for putting your heart and soul into this truly special and important event in Washington, D.C. And you were being shy when you said tens of hundreds of hours. It really has been thousands of hours over the course of the past 2 years. And it's really starting to show as all the events are starting to come together. I'm with Destination DC, and we are the official tourism office for Washington, D.C. And our role is to promote our city to the world and tell everyone our Only in DC story. Last year, we hosted over 27.2 million visitors that brought over $11.4 billion to Washington, D.C. So events like this is incredibly important, not just to the economic impact of Washington, D.C., but because there was 27.2 million people that came to experience the kindness and genuinity of our city. We are proud to be working with CPA and the mayor and all the partners to help make this event authentically DC. What that means to all of us is showing the world who we are and how proud we are to live here. CPA has worked with many of you to create over 200 Pride events covering all 8 of our wards. We encourage you to get involved, stay engaged, and as always, be proud to be who you are, because that's what makes Washington, D.C. and our community so special. Please connect with worldpridedc.org website, which we're going to be talking about ad nauseum tonight. Download the Pride 365 app, which we also will be presenting. And then, of course, visit washington.org. So as you all are coming to experience Washington, D.C., outside any of the Pride events, there's a whole list of other activities that will be going on in D.C. So Sahand, thank you, and we'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Teresa. Next, we will present Ryan Boss, the Executive Director for World Pride DC.
Thank you, Sahand. Nice to have this opportunity to talk to all of you. Again, my name is Ryan Boss. My pronouns are he, him. And I want to acknowledge that these have been trying times. Our community has been faced with extreme challenges. Myself, and I know many others, have experienced depression, fear, anger, and wanting to know who is in our corner and what should we do. And what I am telling you is that what we need to do is to make sure that we continue to stand up, that we continue to show up for our community. We must remain visible. Pride started as a protest, and it has always continued to be a protest. Our ability to come together as a community, to march in the streets, to dance in the streets, or to dance all night is all forms of protest. We have forces around us telling us that we should not exist and should not experience joy. So the act of us experiencing joy and creating safe spaces for us to do so is an important way of showing and having a protest. And I want to emphasize that we will be, in addition to having a traditional parade, we will also be having an international march on Washington for Freedom. This is in partnership with the National Trans Visibility March and will be taking place on June 8th. With the rally at the Lincoln Memorial. And I also want to stress that World Pride and Pride is universal. It's for everybody. It's not just about being LGBTQ+. No matter how anyone identifies, they should have the right to be their authentic selves and to have pride in themselves. If we can have pride in our favorite sports teams, our family, our children, then we should have the right to have pride in ourselves 365 days a year. So I just want to end by saying we must continue to fight. We must continue to show up. And We've done this before, and we can continue to do it again. We are a resilient community, and I thank you for showing up tonight. And whether you come to World Pride or your prides in your communities, let's make sure that we have pride all year long. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And just as a reminder to folks, this meeting is being recorded. I saw a few questions about that. We would be happy to make this available after we finish tonight. Next up, we have Japer Bowles, Director of the Mayor's Office of LGBTQ+ Affairs. Japer.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Japer Bowles, and I have the honor of serving you as the Director of the Mayor's Office of LGBTQ Affairs. I'm very, very glad to be here tonight. As many of the other speakers already said, this is a compilation of many years and hours of love and dedication and work for and with our community. First, I want to say Mayor Mario Bowser is all in for WorldPride 2025. Fully supporting and coordinating across DC government, Mayor Mario Bowser is fully committed to ensuring that WorldPride 2025 is a historic milestone for Washington, DC. She's empowered this office, the Mayor's Office of LGBTQ Affairs, to lead coordination efforts across 65 different DC government agencies. And this cross-agency collaboration is being used as a model and is demonstrating that our city's dedication is not only supporting the LGBTQ community, but also is to bring together resources and knowledge and skills from various sectors and various neighborhoods to make this event an exceptional one for our community, our movement, and our city. So with WorldPride 2025, Washington, D.C. will be at the center of a global celebration for our LGBTQ+ pride and equality. And our city's commitment ensures that WorldPride will not only celebrate, but will also push forward the values of inclusion, acceptance, and diversity. And of course, creating a lasting legacy for our city. So a few of the things that we're working on include engagement and safety, supporting our LGBTQIA+ violence prevention and response team, and of course, promoting and showcasing the amazing human rights laws that are in DC's code. So one of the key elements to ensuring a safe and welcoming WorldPride is our LGBTQ liaison unit at the Metropolitan Police. Many of you know and love these folks, and this is a specialized unit that ensures that our LGBTQIA+ community members, they feel heard, supported, and safe during WorldPride and beyond. They work to address specific concerns of our LGBTQ+ community. They also foster trust between law enforcement, restaurants, nightlife establishments, and they also make sure that officers are properly trained to handle the unique needs of our LGBTQIA+ community and individuals. This unit, although is not a huge, not everyone is a part of the LGBTQ+ unit, they really play a crucial role in ensuring that we have a safe and supportive environment for all. One of the other initiatives that we're working on is to build momentum and awareness ahead of WorldPride, and that is the WorldPride Community Workshops. You may have heard we hosted 3 of these workshops, and they were critical to prepare many of our residents and community organizations, as well as DC government agencies and partners for all types of events, getting permits and troubleshooting and training. This also was a platform to learn about collaboration and ensuring that the various stakeholders are aligned with WorldPride. The workshops, they focused on all different types of tools and trainings, including Narcan and CPR, cultural humility, as well as accessibility. It was a great opportunity. And as we expand those partnerships, we're also working with Capital Pride Alliance to ensure that our volunteers for WorldPride also receive those vital trainings and support systems. The next part is our LGBTQIA plus violence prevention and response team. And this actually was a community derived initiative and is a grants program that our office administers annually. This year, the VPART initiative is at the heart of ensuring that Washington, D.C.'s commitment to addressing LGBTQ violence and abuse is front and center. This program provides trauma-informed support, legal aid, crisis intervention services to LGBTQ plus survivors of violence, whether that be through mental health services, emergency safe housing, legal support. VPART ensures that survivors can receive holistic care free and for our LGBTQ plus community, dedicated services there. In addition to responding to incidents, the Violence Prevention and Response Team also has numerous efforts to prevent violence before it occurs. Many of our grantees provide Narcan distribution and administration training, cultural humility training, as well as education campaigns aimed at raising awareness about our LGBTQ plus issues, as well as reducing stigma. This initiative has also educated the broader community to foster in cultural acceptance, peace, respect, and safety. So VPART remains a trusted presence at community events. Many of our grantees are many of the community partners that you know and love and are those trusted folks. So we're very excited to continue to support the violence prevention program. And you can learn more at thedccenter.org/VPART to learn more about receiving those services either now, later, or when in need. And then finally, our Office of Human Rights. The Office of Human Rights, as many of you all know, plays a crucial role in safeguarding the rights of our LGBTQ plus individuals in DC. The Office of Human Rights is responsible for enforcing some of the strongest civil rights laws in the country and frankly, the world. These laws many of them were founded in DC's charter. There's also been numerous add-ons to specifically protect members of our community, including seniors living with HIV. We also have these laws to protect residents from discrimination in housing, employment, healthcare, and public accommodations. So in addition to these protections, there's also legal pathways and support. So the Office of Human Rights also provides individuals with legal pathways to address cases of bias and harassment. So whether it's a case of discrimination or a violation of rights in healthcare, the Office of Human Rights works to ensure that all of our LGBTQIA plus residents have the support they need to seek justice. This office also helps and supports inclusive policies, conducts a lot of community outreach, and educates our public on the rights and responsibilities under the law. So our Office of Human Rights work is integral to making DC a more inclusive and safe and just place for our LGBTQI plus community and including those visiting here as well. As we approach WorldPride 2025, their efforts and our efforts, collectively as WorldPride, will work to ensure that civil rights of our LGBTQIA plus residents are upheld, that they're providing a foundation for celebration that reflects our city's commitment to equality and justice. So in conclusion, I just want to say Washington, D.C. is ready to take center stage for our movement, for our community, and for our city for WorldPride 2025. We have robust initiatives ensuring safe and inclusive and impactful events across all 8 wards, looking to be 200 plus events. This collaboration with our partners, as well as the 65 plus government agencies, is to ensure a comprehensive safety and prevention measures, as well as those strong civil rights protections. The district is truly setting the stage for a historic WorldPride celebration that honors our LGBTQ community and advances the equality for all. So I will pass it back to you, Sahand. We're really excited to liaise, bring people together, and to support WorldPride. So thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Japer. Thank you for all your leadership on behalf of the mayor's office. Next, we have Linda Mood, the Director of Health, Safety, and Security for WorldPride DC.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Again, I am the Director of Health, Safety, and Security for WorldPride 2025, as well as the Capital Pride Alliance. You know, when you are planning an event, a world-facing large-scale event, it does take a city. And you've heard from some of our partners, but my direct job is to work alongside of all of these partners to plan and coordinate everything for WorldPride and all of the events across, across the city and the area. As Japer and others have already mentioned, that Washington D.C. is no stranger to hosting these large-scale, critical, sensitive events in a very safe and secure manner. This is the city where people come to make their voices heard. Period. It doesn't matter what it is; they're out here, and it's an everyday thing for our city. So, what makes us a little bit different? This is our moment in time. As Japer said, this is a historic moment for Washington, D.C. to host a world-facing event. Capital Pride Alliance has been working really closely with the Mayor's Special Event Task Group. They oversee all of the large-scale mass gatherings in the city. We've been working with them over the past 2 years to coordinate not only with the mayor's office and all of those departments, but as well as all of the 65 agencies that Japer talked about, just to make sure that we are all working together for the same goal. Capital Pride Alliance and WorldPride 2025 has, as Japer said, the full support of the mayor's office. We work in collaboration with her office, local agencies, with the primary focus of making sure that we are ensuring that the safety and health and wellness of our folks, our visitors, and our residents is paramount. The WorldPride Main Operations Center is something that is unique to this event. We have our own incident management structure that in our main operations center, we work directly with the DC Department of Homeland Security Emergency Management Agency and their unified command post, as well as the Emergency Operations Center and the Joint Information Center, to address any kind of situations that come into play during the many, many events that we'll have. So when we talk about this coordination, it's not something that we take lightly. It is something that we have worked diligently to make sure that we're thinking of all of those things, those what ifs and what could happen. We're addressing things that we hear about in the current climate, political climate. We're addressing travel. We have the constant cooperation and collaboration across all agencies, and that means the area transit authorities. It means the local airports, not just here in Washington, D.C., but the other airports that are around the nation. We are communicating frequently with them and working through our plans. I will tell you, we are very honored to be invited to the mayor's emergency operations planning meetings. We participate in our tabletop exercises right alongside of them. We sit at the table to share our plans and to work with them to help us solve them. We incorporate all of our agencies and all of the things that we do. We've taken some steps to this for WorldPride that we haven't done in the past, just because we're looking at millions of people that are coming here from outside of the United States that, to Sahan's point and to Ryan's point, there's some folks that have some questions and have concerns, and we're doing our very, very best to get out in front of that, to host these town halls, to have those good conversations with folks, as well as share whatever training that we can. We have leaned into making sure that the community is aware of the resources that they have. Japer just listed a whole bunch of things. And as we continue to look towards all of these events, we have a very, very, very robust medical plan that we'll talk about in just a few moments. We work arm in arm with the Department of Health, the hospitals, and everyone to make sure that we are prepared for the folks that are coming into the city, and that we have all of the appropriate resources to deliver those services. So with that, I will give it back to Sahand to take it forward.
Thank you so much, Linda. We are grateful to have Trevor Knight from DC Homeland Security joining us. Trevor.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. The DC Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency, or HCEMA, is responsible for leading the planning and coordination for the district's Homeland Security and emergency management efforts, and it operates the district's Emergency Operations Center, which includes the DC Fusion Center. We work very closely with our district, federal, and regional partners to ensure that the District of Columbia is prepared to prevent, protect against, respond to, mitigate, and recover from all threats and hazards. The District Emergency Operations Center is always in an operational posture, allowing us to support planned special events and respond to emergent incidents and disasters. Like Linda mentioned, for large-scale special events like WorldPride 2025, we coordinate with the Mayor's Special Events Task Group, partner agencies, event planners, to ensure that involved parties understand what threats or hazards may affect events and to help share essential information to keep DC residents and visitors safe. As we look forward to WorldPride, HCEMA and the DC Fusion Center are working hard alongside our partners to help ensure everyone is free to participate in and safely enjoy WorldPride events. At this time, we do not have any credible threats to WorldPride events. However, the DC Fusion Center and its public safety partners remain alert to the potential for threats, and we continue to do so around the clock. WorldPride 2025 and events throughout Pride Month may draw out those who want to disrupt these celebrations, whether it's through hoax bomb threats or similar actions, whether it's in-person disruptions or potentially interpersonal confrontations. Because of this, we encourage everyone to remain aware of their surroundings and to report suspicious activity, whether they're seeing someone trying to gain access to restricted areas, someone misrepresenting themselves, or surveilling some of our events. If you see something dangerous, please report it immediately. If there's an emergency, call 911. If you see suspicious activity, please report it by visiting iwatch.dc.gov or by calling 202-727-9099. Thank you for having me, and I'll hand it back to you, Sahand.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Next, we have Dr. Anthony Fox from the DC Department of Health. Dr. Fox.
Thank you, Sahand, and to my fellow colleagues. The DC Department of Health is responsible, of course, for the public health and the interest of the health and wellness of those who are coming to visit, as well as the DC residents. Next slide, please. So the health committee itself began to think about how do we make sure that we are an intricate part of the WorldPride event. And so we came up with several goals, which is to expand access to health services, both to promote health education resources and awareness, and also to ensure that there is some health coordination, including emergency preparedness. And that's the way we try to make sure that we work in tandem with all of our government agencies to ensure that whatever health and wellness needs that may occur is available to those resources. And these are both our DC government partners as well as our community partners. And these are just some of those that have agreed to be available to provide non-urgent services and screenings to assure that we don't put a serious overload on our healthcare systems and hospitals during this time. And so some of these services will be available throughout the entire WorldPride event starting May 17th through June 8th. And so we are working very hard to make sure that whatever is needed, that we ensure that people have access to those services. Next slide, please. Also, what we will be planning to do is there are a couple of activation things that are going on where we ensure that health education, risk reduction, wellness, and awareness is available. We will be having tabling at several multi-diversity Pride events, as well as key World Pride events that are occurring. We are also in this, during this World Pride, will do what we call health suites, or detailing and activation in health suites, where we'll provide an ancillary listing of services. And those services will be at DC Black Pride during the entire DC Black Pride season, and also for both days at the World Pride Festival. And lastly, in our goal was really about agency coordination. And so the DC Department of Health Systems and Preparedness Administration, along with our Health Medical Corps, have done several exercises to ensure that we can be prepared and be ready for any emergency situation that may arise. We are also working with the World Pride's medical director to ensure, and coordination with both the health department, our DC Fire and Safety, and our HCMA, to ensure that there's no undue hardship on our healthcare system in the district. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, is that our community partners are providing non-urgent and screening care in coordination with all of the processes that we are making available during World Pride. And I thank you for this time and this opportunity to share what the Department of Health is doing in support of World Pride. And I will now turn it back over to Sohan.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
service, Dr. Fox, and for all your support that your agency's giving us this year and every year for Pride. Next, we have Drew Morano from the George Washington Medical Faculty Associates, and Drew is helping manage all of our first aid tents on the ground at our major events. Drew?
Pleasure. Thank you guys for having me tonight. You know, this has been an amazing event. I do hundreds of events in DC, and to see the city come together, the entire healthcare community come together and focus on providing the most supportive event that we can has been really amazing. So on the larger scale events that you'll see, the festivals, the block party, the parades, you're going to see a very robust medical footprint. And our goal really is that anybody who's coming to DC or is already here in DC and enjoying this number of events with us, really our focus is to keep you at the event, keep you healthy, and if something does happen, to provide care on site and get you back to join the events. So when you're on site with us, you're going to see almost every 2 to 3 blocks a health aid station. You're going to see ambulances. You're going to see people walking around as medical spotters. That's our goal, is that if you're in, having an issue, you sprained an ankle, you're having a bad day, you're not feeling well, there should be somebody right around the corner to kind of help you or guide you to our aid stations. And I want our aid stations to be not that traditional aid station for you that you go if you get hurt or need a Band-Aid. If you're here in DC and you're not feeling well or you need some help with care coordination, please use those sites as a place to go. We'll connect you with the most appropriate facility it can be. If it's an urgent care, or if it's a hospital, if it's a clinic. I've been really impressed with the amount of people from the healthcare community that have stepped up and said, hey, how can we help? So let us be your care coordination on site. And if you do need to get to the hospitals have all come together. We're briefing, we're educating our teams and our staff just to make sure that this weeks of events is appropriately staffed and we can give the most supportive care that we can to you guys. So if you're seeing a large health and medical footprint out there and maybe a little atypical, it's designed like that. Our goal is to medically contain these and get people continuing to enjoy the events. If there are health issues come up, please come and see us. So I have to say thank you to our DC Fire colleagues. You'll see them out there, and our colleagues from DC Health Department, who's kind of coordinating all this from the backside. So very robust team, and we're here to ensure everybody continues to enjoy themselves. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Drew. Next up, we have our amazing president of the board for World Pride and the Capital Pride Alliance, Ashley Smith.
to first off acknowledge our great and diverse staff that we have that has worked on this tirelessly for the last several months, or actually last several years to make this happen. So we're very excited about that. And I would be remiss if I also didn't acknowledge the members of WorldPride who are on this call as well. We appreciate you, and we're really looking forward to you all being a part of it and celebrating with us as we celebrate WorldPride here in DC here in just a few days, actually. But I do want to, if I can have to change a slide, I do want to make sure that everyone is aware of the fact that it's very important that you have booked your hotel stays. And if you haven't, you can go right here to this QR code, book your stays immediately, and make sure you share with everyone the importance of booking quickly, because the hotel rooms will be sold out if you do not book soon. So we want to make sure that you have a place to stay while you're here, because we want to make sure you stay safe. And we know that there's a lot of questions about that. We'll talk about some of those things, but we want to make sure that we have everybody in a room someplace with the hotels that we have set up for you. So please book your stay with us, and we look forward to seeing everybody from May 17th through June the 8th, whichever days you like to be here for. And have a great one, and thank you. Back to you, Sahan.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Next, we want to speak very briefly about something that's very important to the survival of any Pride organization around the world, is volunteers. So if you're on this call, it means that you have an interest in attending the event. And because this celebration is now 3 weeks long as opposed to 1 week long, that means that we need more bodies and more assistance than ever. Volunteering is a great way to be a member of our Capital Pride and WorldPride family. There's lots of great opportunities to network and learn and enhance sort of your own professional interests. But it's also a great way to have the front row seat to all the exciting things that we do. Capital Pride was the first time that I ever went to a Pride as a teenager, and I never knew how much work went into the celebration until I started working for the organization. So please volunteer. Go to our website, capitalpride.org/volunteer. To sign up. There's still time to do so, and there's lots of exciting opportunities for all of you. And we'll send it back to Ryan Boss, our Executive Director.
Thank you again, Sahan, and everybody for taking time this evening to give you all a sense of the hard work we have all put in. And as we begin to wrap up and then get to some more Q&A, I wanted to just highlight again the importance of our community showing up at this historic moment in history. Pride has existed through and was born out of the Stonewall riots. It existed through the AIDS epidemic, Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We had the wonderful repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and also gay marriage. And now we're suffering again in regards to rollbacks in terms of our trans service members being able to serve in the military. But this is not just something happening in the United States. This hate is affecting our communities globally. So that is why this needs to be a global movement. And we also understand there are going to be places that people just don't feel safe attending or going. So we have partnered with Outright International to launch a program next week called March for All. This is an opportunity for folks who are coming to DC to make a stand, to be visible, to march for somebody who wasn't able to get here or just didn't feel safe in their own community. This will be a program after World Pride that other prides globally will be able to participate in as well, as we need to make sure that our prides continue to exist all throughout the United States and globally. And it's going to take us to stand up for us as a community and as a people. And if we go to the next slide, I want to highlight the fact that we do know that there are a lot of corporations that have pulled back support and sponsorship during this time. And I wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge a few here who have stood with us to ensure that we have the resources to create these safe spaces, for us to be visible, for us to be vocal, and for us to experience radical joy. It would not be possible without them. Want to highlight specifically Marriott, who has been a longstanding partner of ours, and our partners, Events DC, the Mayor's Office of LGBTQ Affairs, and Destination DC. They have been with us from the beginning, and many, many more. So I encourage you all to support these corporations who are willing to be visible and not go in the closet themselves. So thank you, and thank you all for attending. And I'll pass it back to Sahan to close it out.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. I think we have one last screen before we get to the questions and answers. We have an exciting new app. It's called the Pride 365 app. So please go to your app store and download the app. I will say that there are lots of really big updates that are occurring this weekend. So feel free to download it now and then check it back next week, or feel free to download it Monday. But this app is going to be really important because not only does it have information on the events that we are hosting, but it will be able to also have announcements and sort of urgent messages that we will be posting out if we need to get any important safety messages out to attendees. So that's a great way to stay connected with us, not only to find out about tickets for events, but also to be connected and be the first to know about all the updates that we have. And make sure you also visit our website and get your Pride swag. There's still time to get that in time for the celebration, and that's pride365shop.org. There's also a listing of all of our social media handles. Again, if you want to be the first to learn about VIP tickets or tickets being made available for one of the events that we're releasing, or just to see some really inspiring photos from the community, please be sure to follow, and you could use that QR code right there as well. So without further ado, we will get into some of these questions, and I will do my best to assign these questions to folks on our panel, and we will go ahead and get started. The first would go to either Trevor or Linda, and that would be, are we expecting threats from hate groups?
Trevor, did you want to address that?
Sure, sorry about that. Gotta get myself off mute there. So with respect to the question of, are we expecting threats from hate groups? We don't expect threats from specific groups, organizations, anything like that. We do remain aware that that high-profile events really raise the visibility and can be attractive for malicious actors to want to make threats or disrupt these events. We remain aware, alert to anything that could pop up, and we make sure to coordinate that information with all of our public safety partners, both within the district, across the capital region, and beyond, to make sure that we can work to ensure that the events that we have here in DC are going to be safe and enjoyable for all of our attendees.
Great. Thank you, Trevor. And we have not received, and just to reiterate, we have not received any threats with all of the forms of surveillance that have been conducted so far. But that's a great question. This one would be for Linda, and it has to do with our festival, which is we'll have a perimeter for the first time this year. And it says, will there be checkpoints and a perimeter around the festival event, similar to the 4th of July, or is it going to be wide open with no checking of bags, etc.? Linda?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yes, for the first time this year, we will have the entire festival perimeter fenced in. We're doing that for a number of reasons. One, we're doing that because it's a 2-day festival, and we have a lot of our vendors and exhibitors will have their personal items there. But we also we have quite a bit of talent, and from a public safety standpoint, what we're trying to do is ensure that we're managing our audience, and as far as crowds are concerned. We do have 9 different dedicated entrance points. All of those entrance points have security staff at those locations, as well as If needed, there would be law enforcement officers close by to respond. But we do have metal detector type of devices. They're pretty simple. They're the same kind of devices that you would walk into a stadium or into an arena. Very, very fast. So we don't anticipate any lines, but these devices are specifically programmed to detect anything that could be possibly a weapon or a thick metal device or something along those lines. And if we found those things, we do have a bag check component to that security setup as well. All of those devices count every single person who comes into our footprint. So in order to make it a comfortable and safe environment, we will be monitoring the amount of folks that are on the site from an inbound perspective, but we also have set up dedicated exits. That also will have some security folks. These are exit only. So when folks leave, if they had to come back into the footprint, they would have to go back through those metal detector type of devices. Those we have elevated a lot of things this year, our signage to get things off the ground. We do anticipate large crowds for the festival. We have amazing talent that is going to be performing. We have amazing vendors, and it's just a great opportunity for a lot of folks. But we want to make sure that in the that in a large crowd that you can see where your exits are, where your entrance are, where your restrooms are, where medical is. So you will see a different type of look to the festival this year. So we can, just make everything as easily accessible for everyone who's attending. And we do have roaming security that will be moving through the site. And actually, you will be able to identify them. They actually will be wearing safety team on the back of their uniform, so they know that anybody can easily see that they're part of the team that's here to watch after everyone.
Thank you, Linda. This next question I can answer. It's about the March and Rally, and if there's a dedicated spot to safely pull up and drop off folks for larger groups with buses. And this is actually great because I do want to remind folks, please do register for the March and Rally. I believe my amazing colleague, Markia, our Director of Marketing, is on the call, and she can put the link to that RSVP into our chat. But that RSVP is really to get an idea of how many folks are coming so we can adequately plan for this event. So not every First Amendment assembly does this, but we like to work really closely with our agency partners and to have the right resources there. So for those of you who are going on that registration page, there is an option for groups. So you can select that you're bringing, 50 or 100 folks. Those of you who select that option, we will provide that information to you, and we will give you tips. We won't make that information public to everyone, just because we like to not overshare all the time, but please, that's a great excuse to register for that event, to be the first to get that information on where to go and how to get to the actual program. The next,
Sahan, could I jump in on that too? With WorldPride and all of the different events, we are very, very reliant on our public transportation system. If you don't have to drive down to the site, don't drive, take the metro. For the March and Rally, the closest metro station is the Foggy Bottom. It's a 5-minute walk down the hill. And then there's some other locations that, other metro stations that you could walk from. But please, we have been coordinating with the area, metro area transit authority, and they are prepared for large audiences. So please use public transportation.
That's a great point. Thank you, Linda. This one may be for Japer. What plans are there to balance the needs of DC residents with WorldPride?
Hey, thanks for the question. So we're very excited to be supporting nearly 200 events across all 8 wards. So in terms of balancing, I presume, the public safety needs, we are working collaboratively with the numerous public safety agencies. So HCMA, Trevor, who previously spoke, he has the high level view of all of the different activations. And as Linda spoke earlier, there's a direct connection, not just with Capital Pride Alliance, but also in working with our partner events. All of the events that are listed on the World Pride website, we are connected with, and we're working with them to ensure that they have the resources that they need, including safety plans, including health plans. And in addition to that, we're connecting them to agencies like DC Health to ensure that they do have those types of services. And then in terms of folks, not being a part of World Pride, but still being in the city, first I would have to say why, why would you not be a part of World Pride? But second, our city functions and has inaugurations and has, large tournaments and has all types of international ambassadors or world leaders attend. And we know what it's like when a city does get shut down. And we'll be real with you. The city during the weekend from 6th, 7th, and 8th will be high activity. It will be difficult to cross the city via vehicle, but we really still want everyone to have pride, whether that be down at the National Mall or in your neighborhood.
Great. Thank you, Japer. Let's see. This is a good question, and Ryan can answer this for me. It's what's the difference between the street festival and the music festival at RFK? Is the music festival included in this approach or purview, or is it separate from all of this?
Thank you for that, Sahan. Great question. This doesn't just apply to the music festival, but applies to all of the events that are part of World Pride, which, reminding everybody, we kick off next week with Trans Pride on May 17th. And API Pride and Latinx Pride follow right along. In addition to DC Black Pride, Youth Pride, Silver Pride. These are all prides that are providing safe spaces for populations of our community that have been really targeted by many of these policies that are hurtful to our community. So we take that very seriously, in addition to all of the other events that are happening, even if we are not organizing them. So the Music Festival is a partner marquee event for us. It's a 2-day event that is ticketed, taking place in a parking lot out by the RFK Fairgrounds that will have wonderful talent. You've heard some of the performers, such as J-Lo and Troye Sivan. In addition, we are continuing to have our staple event, the Free Street Festival and Concert on Pennsylvania Avenue. Though this year it'll be 2 days versus 1 day. And you may have heard some of the headliners, such as Cynthia Erivo on Saturday and Doechii on Sunday. But all of these agencies that have been speaking tonight, we work in concert with everything taking place during World Pride, whether it be an event that we are organizing or one of our partners.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. It looks like we have a question about, is there a place to find out information like an app? And yes, that would be the Pride 365 app. So thank you for that. Let's see what else we have here. Will there be parking spots for volunteers? I can answer that. Parking will be very limited during the weekend. So the only essential parking spots that we have are for the infrastructure, for first responders, for some of the trucking and the rigging and the other large scale things that will be involved in the event. So if you are planning on volunteering, please do plan to use public transit, as Linda mentioned. Let's see, is there will be a map of all the various safety health stations along the parade route for the parade participants. And this will be related to some of our orientation efforts later in the month. But Linda, would you like to speak briefly on that?
Yes, thank you, Sahan. As Sahan mentioned, we will have orientation for our participants and our volunteers as we get a little bit closer to the actual events. From a public service type of thing for folks that are not participating as far as marchers or exhibitors, you will be able to see those medical aid stations, as Drew mentioned earlier. They are relatively close together just because we don't want you to have to go too far to get medical aid. And they will be they will have those tall feather flags that show that that's first aid, so you can see that. We also do have quite the robust water plan as well. As we mentioned earlier, all of our medical aid stations are climate controlled, as well as have chilled water in there for any kind of participants should you need any kind of relief. So the answer is yes, you will see them quite close to each other.
Thank you, Linda. There's a question I'm happy to take. Are kids allowed in any festival areas this year? And this person referenced that there's some areas in the past that kids are not allowed to go to. So there are some areas that are 21 and over. Those would be the beverage gardens. And there are some performance areas associated with those beverage gardens that are more geared to adult activities or performances. The rest of the festival, including the main stage area, is completely open to folks of all ages. And we're really excited that this year we have a 2-day family zone at the festival. It's called Camp Pride. So expect camp-themed activities for all the little kiddos. There's going to be crafts and games, as well as drag story hour throughout the weekend, face painting, and lots of other fun activities. So please do bring your children. And oftentimes families do bring their kids earlier on in the day. It's a great way to visit the booths and to grab goodies and to meet a lot of the costumed folks performing throughout the festival area. Let's see if there's anything else. There is a question about disability pride events, and that's something that we can cover as well. So all of our events are required to have accommodations that are accessible. So if you do visit our website, you will see reservations for accessible viewing for the parade. And so those are essentially front row seats to the parade that have space for wheelchairs or that are seated. And so those will be available for seniors as well. And then we also have accessible viewing areas at the festival for the concert. We have ASL available at these events as well. And there is an accessible area that we will have available for the march and rally. And it looks like there might be a clarification for that as well. And Tiffany is answering that question in the chat. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Entering the perimeter to set up for vendors, will we be issued a pass, or how will that work? Yes, you will be given a pass for the morning of the festival. So thank you for that question. There's another one regarding the parade day. If there's going to be a dedicated information booth, an assigned location for participation floats. Yes, we will share more of that information on the 21st, but at 15th and P is where that information booth typically is, and that 15th is the staging area. Let's see here. And I'm not sure if there's someone on our end that would like to approve any more of these questions that are coming in. I know we have to wrap up in just a few moments.
Sahan, can I address one question? There's one question about security along the walkways to and from the events, from the metro stations and things along those lines. The expectation is that in the metro stations, I know the transit police, typically they have transit police at all of the metro stations. So inside the station, sometimes outside the stations, they're there. But Metropolitan Police Department has really, they are on full force. And they're bringing in even some outside officers just to help with all of the different activities that are taking place around the city. So they will be out there in different locations, especially as it pertains to close to the event sites. We had a meeting about that yesterday, and the chief of police assured us that they are out there and aware and supporting wherever they can. One other thing that we do have is in Washington, D.C., there are traffic cameras everywhere. In the HSEMA, EOC, as well as MPD, they do have access to all of those cameras. And there's a lot of other resources that are out there to help protect folks as they're moving around the city.
Great. Thank you, Linda. And I think we might just have a few more that are getting pushed through. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us.
Ryan has a question.
Sure, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, you're on mute.
I don't think I answered the question fully regarding the music festival. I wanted to emphasize that, yes, they are required, just like us, to provide comprehensive safety and crisis communication plans with the interagencies that we work with, such as the Mayor's Special Event Task Group. And we will have communication between all of these major events during that time. So, the information that Linda shared regarding the controlled access points for the street festival, there will also be controlled access points for the music festival.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. And we might have one more, unless any others pop up into this feed for me. One is for Linda. Are there any possibilities of the March? Sorry, is this, maybe this is for the rally. Are there any possibilities of the March routing changes? Could the federal government modify it? So the March is a First Amendment assembly. That is a protected event. And essentially all of our major events are on DC property, and those are all permitted. But every event does have a contingency plan, and that contingency plan could be related to weather or a disturbance. So there is a backup to everything, would be my answer. And we don't share those backups publicly. There's a question. Let's see. think this will be the last one. If we are a media team, like a videographer or photographer that needs to unload and find parking spots, are they able to have a spot to unload and park at? And it looks like that was already answered by my colleague, Markia. We do not provide parking for that. So I believe these are all the questions that I see. If there are any questions that are urgent that I have missed, I will let one of my colleagues chime in. Otherwise, I think we will start to wrap up. Okay, Ryan, would you like to have any final words for the group as we lead into our first week of World Pride?
Sure. Thank you very much. Again, everyone, for joining us. We hope we have provided you information that will help you make decisions that are best for you. I will emphasize again, we as a community cannot retreat. We cannot be forced back in the closet. This is a time for us to lead during this historic moment, especially for those that do feel comfortable and safe, and understand that there will be those that won't, whether that's coming to DC, whether that's going to your Pride in your own neighborhood, and know that that's even more important for us who are able to show up to speak for those who aren't able to. And we hope that through World Pride, we can galvanize our community to ensure all of our Pride events go off successfully throughout this country. But as we've said, this is a global movement, and we need to make sure that our prides continue to exist and expand throughout the world. This is our time. And we hope to see you here in DC, and wish us good luck as things kick off next week with Trans Pride.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please do follow all of our social media channels and visit our website for all of the updates that you need to know to celebrate our 50th anniversary and World Pride DC. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.